You know what? I hope that it becomes a regular situation. When I came here years ago, that was kind of the whole plan and the whole purpose. And we felt that we had the opportunity to build the program here to that kind of level. And I think these young men really did a great job last week against the nationally ranked team in Azusa Pacific, and just played phenomenal football and showed that we are one of those playoff type teams. And I think our guys are ready to go.
First off, I was on a blitz, and Blake Nelson, hell of a player. He made a great play. He just got up there and tipped the ball, and I just saw it in midair. And I couldn't get there fast enough, so I just decided to dive, and I got the interception. So it was kind of one of those easier ones, but it all started with Blake and the D-line getting after him and getting that tip ball, and then just get the turnover, and then march on down and get the offense a chance.
You were cradling that thing like a baby.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no chance we're gonna let that go.
Something really special for us, definitely. We've been coming to Mesa games our whole lives, and I honestly can't remember the last time that Mesa was in the playoffs. I think, 2003?
07.
07? Oh yeah. So that was a long time ago for us, and I remember coming to Mesa games all my life. My mom played here, his mom played here, so it's definitely cool to kind of carry on that legacy.
I think right now, I don't think anybody's even looking back at the last year. Last year on that selection Sunday, it was a very disappointing day for our guys. And it was that day then that we decided that our model was going to be unfinished business. We were going to utilize that to help us maintain our focus of where we felt we could be. And these guys will overcome tremendous adversity. As far as just some of the guys that we thought were going to be playing that weren't to start with, but then injuries and week after week, even like yesterday, I think we have I think there's about 13 or 14 guys that aren't able to practice right now. So we're trying to get guys healed up so that we can play on Saturday. And so they've overcome a tremendous amount of adversity. But, the expectation has always been that we were going to get back to this point. We were going to be a playoff football team. And, I think maybe even when we stubbed our toe a couple times there, kind of in mid-season, it was both a wake-up call, but it was just a refocusing of purpose for these guys. And since that time, they have done everything that we have ever asked. They continue to overcome adversity. They continue to prepare every single week. And I think as far as this football team looking into this year and into this playoff, I think our guys have a very high expectation of going down there against an outstanding football team and competing tremendously well. And I think right now, every one of us will be disappointed we don't win that football game. You know what? It was great to hear our name called, but at the same time, I think that this year going in, where we were number 7 going into that final week, playing a quality opponent that was nationally ranked, that was also in another region that they were ranked, we felt if we won, we felt there was no way we would miss out. And then, so it was just, it was great to see our name. I think everybody anticipated that we were going to be in there, and I don't think it really mattered to anybody where it was, whether it was at the number 5 spot, the number 2 spot, number 7 spot. As long as we were in there, we just wanted to be able to play, and we wanted to have the chance to keep this season going. And I believe that all of our guys really felt that way on Sunday. So yes, it was a moment of great excitement. But at the same time, I think it was also fulfilling what everybody expected and what everybody felt this program would be.
I mean, that was the plus, was that I played there before. I felt like that was the down spot in our defense. They needed some help. I felt like we could make a push in the playoffs if we picked our defense up. Our offense has been doing tremendous. David's been running the ball. We haven't seen a runner like that since Chimolino. So, I mean, I felt comfortable talking to coach, making the switch, whatever. I mean, I've always done whatever to help the team. So I felt like it's been a plus for us. Last year was devastating, not being able to come back, really be 100%. This year I felt good throughout the whole time, and I mean, we're finally here. 5 years we've pushed for this, and it's our time now, and it's accumulation of all the hard work that the seniors have put in, and we've enforced that into the brains of the younger guys too, and now they're working just as hard as us. So I mean, it's all coming together. It's our time.
Probably, I'd say there's kind of a change about 2.5 years ago, kind of started that spring that we just needed to start competing and start finishing plays, finishing the weight room. Coaches even said like the past couple of years that we were the weakest team when he first came in here. And so we've just been improving in the weight room, improving out on the field. And so once we kind of started to taste that success a little bit, we're like, all right, everybody was all on board, started working towards that. Let's go win the RMAC and let's get a chance to go to the playoffs.
It's kind of took hold, didn't it?
Yeah. I think we've always had the talent here, but we've always had problems, early on finishing things, and we've definitely stressed over the past 4 or 5 years during spring ball, during spring running, something as little as staying behind the line or finishing through the line, just the little things to finish and stuff like that. And I think that really made a difference, because if you look at some of the games this year, we've had some close games where we had to kind of put it all together and finish it. And I think that just paying attention to those little details over the year and kind of focusing on those have helped us finish those tight games.
Sometimes they talk about the experience being an added benefit, and it certainly can be. But at the same time, I think there's a whole lot to the whole situation as far as the hunger issue. And that, because you see teams that have been in playoffs on a consistent basis that never play that well in the playoffs, because all of a sudden it's just kind of routine and mundane, and it's not that important. I think more than anything else, I'm going to go back, and I've known Coach Carthel for a lot of years. I know that they're going to be ready to play. I know that they're going to be an outstanding football team. And we've looked at them. They're very good in every phase. They've got some dynamic special teams players. But at the same time, I've shared, I still believe the strength of this football team is in the heart and the spirit of this team. They find ways to get things done. If you look at things statistically on the defensive side, you can say, well, geez, okay, we've given up more points. We've given up quite a few yards on stuff. Doesn't matter. You look at the key situations, we've had some big-time stops almost every time we've got into those kind of situations. And you look at even last week again, our guys believe that if we need to block a field goal, we're going to block a field goal. And it's not a one-and-done type thing. We had great effort throughout, and that's one of the things as coaches, we really stress our players. When we look at our opponent's tape, there's a lot of teams that when they line up for extra point or block and that kind of stuff, it's half-hearted effort. You never see that out of our guys. You see great effort, you see great intensity, and that goes back to these guys and the points that they were talking about. From the time they've come in, they bought into the idea that we were going to be winners. And, so I don't know that there was any exact point, but I will go back. A couple years ago, Patty, I think one of the biggest points and turnarounds in that whole situation goes back to the game that we hosted Western a couple years ago. We're behind in the fourth quarter, it's kind of a rainy day. It would have been really easy just to kind of give up ship and say, you know what, okay, we're struggling here. It's going to be kind of another mediocre year, because we were 5-5 going in. We could have been 5-6. We ended up 6-5. We found ways to score 3 special teams touchdowns in the fourth quarter that game, and it didn't matter. And I think that was what helped light the fire of the guys that believe that, regardless of what it takes, we can get the thing done. And then even last year, we just stepped into that situation. And, that same year, when we started to progress, all of a sudden it was taking teams and beating them soundly instead of just winning some of those games. I think one of the things that's a huge advantage for us, our guys have been in some games where we've blown some people out. We've been in some games where we've suffered a loss. But we've been in a lot of games where it's been close, and when it's been close, we find ways to win. And even when we've been behind, our guys find ways to battle and make it close down and finish. And so I think what you're going to see is I think you're going to see these guys have prepared themselves mentally, physically, and every way ready. And I think you're going to see an outstanding performance.
Coach, when you look at the Lions, what have you seen on film?
Well, when you watch their offensive line, they scare the crap out of you. They are big and they're physical. And there's times you see their running backs break off a 30-yard run, and all of a sudden the first guy there is one of their big offensive linemen. They're very, very good and they're very talented. And that same thing, they've got some talented receivers. I think what you've got is they're a very talented football team in every phase, offense, defense. They create a lot of turnovers. Matter of fact, I'm not sure, I didn't look at it, but one of the coaches was saying that they thought they were maybe like plus 20 on a year. That's phenomenal. And so they do a great job of creating some turnovers and taking care of the football. But also, I think that's one of the things, we do a great job of taking care of the football. And so, as we look at them, they're going to be a very, very good football team. But at the same time, if you watch our tape, we're a very good football team. And, I'm going to go back into last week. If you looked at Azusa Pacific and you looked at their stats going into our game with us, you're saying, okay, they should definitely be the favorite. Our guys don't look at it that way. We believe we were the favorite going in. We felt we should win the game. We did win the game. And I think as we look at going into this game here, regardless of any experience they have, I don't think that they can have the hunger that these guys have, to be in the playoffs and to achieve and that. And so we don't control them, we control us. I think we're going to be ready to go.